Good afternoon on what is a mild, bright day. It is Monday, the 3rd of January 2022, and I've got a big stack of parcels to get through. And the next thing I'm going to pull out is from this big box. And let's have a look. It's this. So bear with me a moment, just tidy it back up, make it a bit easier for me to work. So many boxes. So, yes, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Lankhmar, a setting for fantastic adventures authorised by the estate of Fritz Leiber. This is from Goodman Games, and it is designed for use with Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is the publisher's essentially big retro clone, which is a lot of fun to play. So, enter the thrilling world of Fritz Leiber's Newon, home to the legendary city of Lankhmar and the infamous heroes Fafred and the Grey Mouser. Prepare yourself to battle members of the city's nefarious thieves' guilds in frog-shrouded alleys, to barter for cursed curios in the plaza of Dark Delights, and to seek the wisdom of Ningubal of the Seven Eyes and Shalba of the Eyeless Face. All this and more is possible with DCC Lankhmar. This box set contains comprehensive rules options and new material for the Dungeon Crawl Classics role-playing game, explicitly designed to capture the unique setting of Newon and Lankhmar, the city of the Black Toga. Inside you'll find new spells, monsters, magical items, patrons and rules to make your DCC role-playing campaign more like Leiber's exciting stories, including the popular fleeting luck mechanic where good fortune blesses your characters 1 minute only to dash their hopes the next. The set also includes a detailed look at Lankhmar and provides the judge with an assortment of descriptions, tables and adventure ideas to get their DCC Lankhmar campaign up and running with a minimum of effort, including the adventure No Small Crimes in Lankhmar and a beautiful city map illustrated by Doug Kovacs. A copy of the Dungeon Crawl Classics rulebook is required to use in this box set. So inside this box set you will find excuse me, the Judges Guild to Newon, 104 pages, the compendium of secret knowledge, 40 pages, Lankhmar City of the Black Toga, 44 pages, Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar 0, No Small Crimes in Lankhmar, 12 pages, that's the scenario, a gigantic 33 inches by 17 inches poster map of the city of Lankhmar, a 3-panel judges screen with tables specific to the DCC Lankhmar setting, an exclusive issue of the Goodman Games Gazette, and plus downloaded codes for the digital edition. So, everything in here. Just to show you the back there. Okay, so I'm holding this. This feels solid. This feels packed with content. There's no give, and it's not hefty, I would say. It's not particularly heavy, but it's not light either. It's got a good weight behind it. So I'm expecting something fun, interesting in here. So I'm going to get the knife on the cellophane. That is quite tightly. There we go. It's just got. There we go. Get my fingers underneath the cellophane. Okay. Put that where he won't find it. So I am used to cats who have a penchant for cellophane. So inside, let's see whether I can open this and show you the contents without spilling them everywhere, which is my usual thing. So it's quite tightly packed. And then straight off, begin your adventure in the dens of Lankhmar in both print and digital. Visit the products page on DriveThruRPG and enter the code there. I'm going to hide the code there, okay? But that's what you get straight off. So lifting that up, doesn't tell you what's in the box, but you've got that on the back. So pull that apart, and the first thing we have is the Judges Guild to. God, this is quite tightly packed. Let's see there we go. So 100 things to see in Lankhmar table on the back, just to add colour. So inside we've got the Judges Guild introduction and the map. and a bibliography and an overview. And then the gods of New One, because essentially your cleric's going to need someone to worship and become their patron gods for. So got a complete description of the Neon Python, which includes Cthulhu. So yeah, that ties it again into sort of Appendix N. Sorry, excuse me. Which is one of the inspirations for Dungeons and Dragons and also for Dungeon Crawl Classics. Appendix N essentially is, essentially when I say it's inspiration, it lists all of the inspiration in the pack of the Dungeon Master's Guide. Then we get into the Magic of New One, and you've got a list of spells particular to the setting. Now, it should be pointed out, this isn't the first treatment of Lankhmar for role-playing. There was a version for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons done by TSR, and subsequently, I believe, Mongoose did a version, and more recently there was a version for Savage Worlds using from Pinnacle Entertainment, and they can be still found. Certainly the Savage Worlds version can still be found, and we've got agents and patrons of New One, and how to become an agent, so on, and agent tasks. So we've got tables of tasks for the player characters to attempt to fulfill in their duties to their divine patrons, and more details on each of the various patrons, accompanied by big tables. Because there's one thing that the Dungeon Crawl Classics, it does like its tables for the spells and that sort of thing. And we've got so patron tate for Isoc of the Jug, and Guide to Spellburn, and that's going to do that the same again and again for each of the patrons in the setting. And then in individual spells as well, which all makes sense. It does the same for costs. And let's have a look. Mog the Spider God. Ningorbal of the Seven Eyes, or Ningorbal of the Seven Eyes. Let's see what else we've got in here. Shelbutt the Eyeless Face. Patron tate table, so plenty of flavour just in here, and then the Gods of Trouble. Again, the artwork is generally pretty good in Dungeon Crawl Classics, and this is no exception. Some of it you can go, oh, okay, not quite my cup of tea, but yeah, it's still good. But it always evokes the style and feel of the old school Renaissance, or essentially old school style role playing, and its sources at least. And then we have rules and advice, which is covering things like advancing non-class abilities and carousing, getting drunk and that sort of thing, and rules for laying low, because essentially one of the things you'll do is you'll commit burglaries and heists and that sort of thing, and we've got legendary objects like the blindfold of true seeing, or the dart of emotions. And then it's got a guide to. Here's the question: where's Fatford and Grey Mouse? Because essentially, one of the things you have a setting like this, you have to sort of like go. The players will go, well, where are the heroes in the setting that we know about from the fiction? Which is a bit like, you're running an 1890s campaign set in London, and the first question is, what's Sherlock Holmes doing? And then we have a section on the monsters, like the Black Shore Executioner or the Sea Serpent Dragon. This is just one book, then we've got the afterword at the end, the background at the end there. So that's just one book there. Next, onwards deeper into the box. It's a big box. I've been meaning to look into this for a while. Okay, so this is the map of Neon. Oh, here we go. It's quite big. So I'm going to show you that, as you can see, nicely detailed. Yeah, that's we've got the street names on there and particular locations. As you can see, I'm just going to show you just one section there. Next thing out of the box is this guide, which has the 100 random street names in Lankhmar. So you don't necessarily have to stick to, I mean, all the main street names are on there, but there's, you can see that there are, there's alleys and back streets, that sort of thing, which are essentially useful for that. And then we've got the city book, which is the city of the Black Toga. We've got a guide to the city of Lankhmar. Government, guilds, authority and defence, known overlords of Lankhmar. It's been a while since I've read any of the books, but they are entertaining. Essentially, we've got entering the city and we've got details of the streets of Lankhmar. Because essentially, this is going to be a very street-based kind of campaign. Very much sort of like a low-level kind of crime and adventuring kind of campaign. So we have things like the Temple Quarter, Street of the Gods, with forbidden temples, and then we go on to the Crafts Quarter. And we have tables like so for example, the Thieves House, we've got a table of interesting events at the Thieves House. So lots of things. Basically, it's not just okay. Here's the setting. I mean, what I like is it's not just here's the setting. Here's some things that can happen there that can enhance your campaign. You know, and the judge can either roll or choose or and bring that into her campaign. So yeah, all the way down to, let's have a look. Vendors in the Plaza of Dark Delights. So notable locations detailed before we get into a bestiary, which is the Rogues Gallery. So we actually have full stats for both Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser for Dungeon Crawl Classics, as well as other notable inhabitants in this book. Again, decent illustrator as well. And then basically starting neighbourhoods. Essentially, this is where the player characters start. And essentially, this is the idea here is, I'm presuming that the player characters are, they're not outsiders. They can be sort of natives, or they come and or they might come and settle. But they settle down and they explore the neighbourhood. This is their home, and working with the judge, they can go on to create the neighbourhood with base of operations, street names, interesting residents. So I've got a big table there. Neighbourhood secrets and adventure seeds as well. So that's the base of operations. Essentially, it's up to the judge to make that come alive, working with her players. So that's the City of Black Toga book. Next below that, we've got this. So let's see what this is. Oh no, that's not the book. That is the Land of Nuon. So that's another map. There we go. Below this. In fact, the little pleasure of Factor is actually opening up a box set, and I'm not dropping everything on the floor, like I did with my copy, the copy of Burger Brothers. So we've got the Compendium of Secret Knowledge, illustrations on the back, no table. So these are rules options for DCC Lankhmar, the book for the judge. So the interesting thing is no funnel. One of the features of Dungeon Crawl Classics is the funnel. It's each player takes 3 or 4 0-level characters, puts them through a dungeon best designed for first level characters. First level characters could tackle it without any problems, but they don't have any abilities. Essentially, they just have their wits and their strength, and if they survive, they gain enough points to go to first level. In this, no funnel. And heavy use of luck. birth organs and benisons and dooms, all places of origin, so you can create backgrounds for your Dungeon Crawl Classics characters and NPCs, so on. Got discussion of the classes, so which come down to basically how to adjust the classes in Dungeon Crawl Classics to the setting. So addresses the thief, the warrior, so on. In particular, and we've got rules for magic, mercurial magic, and Yuan corruption tables, because magic is dangerous, and well, you know, magicians should know better, but you know, they never do. That runs up to major corruption, so you've got, you know, and here, especially a lot of it, you'll see these characters used again and again in Dungeon Crawl Classics titles. They are the classic adventuring team, and they have their own history running throughout the game line. Combat and healing. How does that work in New One? Or rules for broken limbs. It's interesting because that adds actually sort of like to the danger of combat is not just loss of hit points. And then luck in Lankhmar, of course, which can go either way for your player characters. And these are actually fleeting luck tokens in the back. Okay, and then intriguing items. So you actually got a table at the back. So that's the Secrets Compendium Super Large. Then we have the Given Adventure, which is No Small Crimes in Lankhmar, which is adventure 0, level 1 adventure for the setting. There is an old thieves guild proverb. There are no small crimes in Lankhmar, just small thieves. By the behemoth, are they wrong? When the adventurers explore an abandoned house on a forgotten street in the city, they find themselves plunged into an alien world where even the everyday can kill them. Stalked by titanic cats, contesting with the cunning rats of Lankhmar below, and facing dire consequences of a terrible curse, can these scions of the city of Blacktoga's underworld escape for their lives and loot intact? Or will one of Lankhmar's many forgotten secrets cut short their adventuring careers? So, in this adventure, the player characters are miniaturized. I've actually played this as a funnel. So, despite what it says, you can actually do a funnel. You can do it with 4 characters. They are shrunk. They have to go in and face the threats in here. So it is possible. But again, this is a kind of classic scenario where the player characters are shrunk down and have to deal with the everyday world from a different point of view, for different size. So what's we've got? So yeah. So we almost encounter with spiders. Classic Incredible Shrinking Man kind of encounter. And then dealing with the rats. And there's the map of this house itself. Okay, then we get onto the screen. I'll show you that on the back. And then we open this up. So you've got a 3-fold screen. That. Inside. I'm not a fan of vertical screens. They're a bit unwieldy, but there you go. Then we've got a copy of the Goodman Games Gazette, which I've not actually seen a copy of before, but there you go. And then, and that's actually quite lengthy. That really does fold out. And this really is this is volume 2, number 1. Presumably, if you're a fan of Goodman Games, you're going to be getting copies of this. And this is they've got a complete guide of what's in there. And this actually just basically is extra support for Lankhmar. It's obviously a Lankhmar special issue which they put in here. So you've got, you know. So you've got newspaper, and it's really just folded together. It's not stapled or anything. So there's a lot in here. That's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, that is. I like that. And then we've got a little thing saying, you know, Dungeon Crawl Classics got a couple of posters. I need a bigger one. So let's put all that away. So yeah, quite a tightly packed box, as you can see. A lot of content in there. If you are a fan of this, that's worth picking up. I think there's another 10 adventures beyond this, because this is Adventure 0. So the setting is well supported. So that you can use those. They're all of varying levels that you can use to get your players involved. So I'm just quickly putting this all back into the box. So yeah, it just about fits. So I'll just show you that. It literally, you are just tamping that down. You can see how that is has everything you need in there, and it just about fits. So that is Dungeon Crawl Classics, Lankhmar setting from Goodman Games. Took longer for me to go through, but as I say, there's a lot in the box. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing Nook. If you have, please do click that like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel and a book of game, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, and sometimes a cat who is not ours. Please hit that subscribe button. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will be back again with another unboxing in the Nook soon. Bye for now.